Hi everyone, I just woke up. You like that new spiffy intro? Yeah, I'm taking this YouTube game seriously now. I saw something on Twitter that pissed me off, as that site is designed to do, and I felt compelled to make an unscripted, probably messy video complaining about things that I probably shouldn't complain about because I have work and real life responsibilities, and there are real world issues that probably should be prioritized more than me complaining about shit that doesn't matter. Anyways, to put this delicately, your headcanons are just that. I have been seeing a lot of shit recently about media deconfirming people's headcanons, and people are angry about that, and you know what? I mean, that's fair enough. It's reasonable enough to form a certain attachment to a character. It's reasonable enough to have certain ideas about them, especially if that piece of media is still ongoing. Then that gives you ample time to form these ideas, and you start getting attached to those ideas because that's what gets you to enjoy the character more. And that's like a very healthy thing to do, like that's like healthy discussion, and that's totally fine. That there's literally nothing wrong with that. My thing comes when you act like that is objectively canon, though, because the creators, unless proven otherwise, they're not really promising you anything. Like, the makers aren't guaranteed to add the useless sex scenes to your media/content, God, I'm permanently online, I need to be shot. They're the ones that are making the art. You're just the one who is just enjoying that art. That's two completely different things. So, of course, when your headcanon is deconfirmed, or, it's still just not the way you imagine that character, then that's fair enough to get disappointed. 'Cause I've fallen into that trap before. I'll be writing for a character I like while their series is ongoing, and then something new happens in that series that I didn't foresee, and so now I have to incorporate that into my writing. That's the risk you have to take, and it's annoying to do, but that's just how it is, because again, I'm not in charge of that art. I have to come in with the expectation that anything that I think about this character, any theories, any headcanons regarding their identity or what they do or if they shop at Aldi, all of those can be deconfirmed by the next episode or by the next installment. I get it. I get that it sucks. Because it kind of does. But that is, again, how it is. I ought to stop beating around the bush and just say what prompted this video. So there's this cool Steam game that is called Fields of Mystria. I hope I pronounced that right. It's a farming sim that's really similar to Harvest Moon / Story of Seasons and Stardew Valley, both of which are good games. I recommend them. Well, you see, there's lots of characters that you can romance, which is kind of just the standard for a lot of these farming simulator games, and live a happy, comfortable life with them, regardless of your gender and regardless of their gender. I hope you understand where I'm going with this. One of the romanceable options is this character named March. He is the village's aloof blacksmith and is one of the many options that you can date. He's a bit vain, and he's a bit grumpy, but you can soften up his heart if you just give him a chance. It's pretty cool, isn't it? Well, you see, this character does look a bit androgynous though, does he? And while some people will probably look at him and think he's a male, I, alongside many other people, actually mistook him for a woman at first. Which is fine. People can present how they want to, as long as you're not being disrespectful about it. See, the thing is, a lot of people mistook him for a butch lesbian, which, again, is totally fine. It's just a little silly haha oops. The creators never promised anything with him. The creators never promised anything with this character. They never said, oh, we're gonna dangle this guy's orientation on us so you can lie about it, and then when you play the game, you're gonna find out this character's completely different from what you advertised. That's not what they were doing. They were just showing this guy's alt costumes. And one of them just happened to be shirtless, and that's when everyone was like, oh, this character is a male. Oh well. But the thing is, a lot of people were on copium. And that is fine for a little bit, but it went as far as people making mods that were like, hey, this character is a butch lesbian now, and people were praising it. I'm not gonna link that mod, by the way. I'm not even gonna show it on screen, not because it's like cruel or offensive or anything, but I just don't want people trying to dig for it and telling the creator to off themselves and get the wrong idea from this video. If you tell people to do that, that's a whole other video discussion, but if you tell people to do that, just fuck off from my channel right now. But I don't know. A lot of people, they were praising the idea that this character now fit their expectations, and they were acting like it was objectively better than the original version, when the original character never promised anything. And may I remind you, this is a farming sim in the year of our Lord 2024. You can literally date anybody you want in this game, regardless of their identity and regardless of your identity or gender presentation. So to someone, there's like a non-zero chance that this guy is still gay to them or whatever. Dating sim games are just kind of like that. We have come a long way from Harvest Moon letting you marry a 10-year-old. I still have no idea why they thought that was a good idea. But changing the art to your vision, how you perceive these characters and how they should act, that kind of rubs me the wrong way, and that honestly feels a bit disrespectful. I don't want to call any shots here, but that's just kind of how I feel. And I saw a few tweets which were probably joking, but they still were just like kind of need to be addressed. A lot of people thought they were queerbaiting, and queerbaiting has to be intentional. Queerbaiting is like, we're gonna dingle this character on a stick and act like this character's gay, and then we're gonna, you know, only show that gayness on screen for a couple seconds and then maybe kill the character off. That's shitty and scummy. Don't do that, because that's just don't do that. Ultimately, while I do understand the disappointment, that's just not what happened. That's just not what happened at all. Again, having a queer headcanon on a character is not inherently disrespectful. In fact, it's the complete opposite. It's because, you know, I've seen takes on characters that I agree with, even if they're not necessarily canon. Like, I remember there was something about Jenny Wakeman from My Life as a Teenage Robot. A lot of trans people related to this character and saw themselves in her. They started thinking, what if Jenny Wakeman was a trans woman? That's cool. Then she can be just like me. Well, the creator caught wind of that, and while that was not his intention of the character, we live in an age where creators these days can say, you know, this character can be interpreted how you want them to be interpreted, and I won't be mad. Because back in the day, it was more like, if this character is gay, you're stupid. That's not the case anymore. And that's really healthy discussion that's being encouraged. But at the same time, if you believe way too strongly about a headcanon, or you attach all these headcanons that just aren't really related to the character anymore, you've essentially just made yourself an OC. I've seen projects where these characters were originally based on other characters, but they slowly just mutated into their own little characters. And that's also just a natural part of the artistic process. Hell, I'm pretty sure I've drawn Nathaniel Kurtzberg enough times that he actually did turn into my own OC. So, I don't blame you. So, it is possible to get too attached to a headcanon and just make your own art out of it. But that's just a completely different case altogether. If we could change the way that life just went by writing a Tumblr post about it, then I think we would be a lot better off, but that's just not how it works, unfortunately. Disappointment is valid, but that is just, I don't even know what to say. I haven't even gotten into the whole Rip Axel situation. That was a mess, and I had to deal with that for 5 hours. And, well, for context, Axel was another character who basically had 30 seconds of screen time in both seasons, where a lot of people kind of thought that she was... A lot of people kind of latched onto her and thought that she was also a lesbian, but then, you know, the whole Rip Axel plotline started, and that was... Well, it was bad. The whole plotline was bad. You can watch Lich King's video on it. Shameless plug. But, yeah. That was a whole mess. And I understand that disappointment there. A lot of people want her to get with Michelle for some reason. Those two literally just looked at each other for 5 seconds and then moved on. So I don't really know where that came from. It's probably just that one Bob's Burgers meme. Either way though, ultimately you can't really change how somebody does art, but you can change how you perceive it. All art is subjective. That's just how it is. So before you tell someone to go off themselves over a headcanon, just think, what would Himmel the Hero do? Alright, I know that video went on for... Alright, I know I kind of rambled on for a little bit there. It is probably completely nonsensical by the time I upload this. So, trust me, feel free to list down some examples that I probably most definitely missed. I know there was the whole Lyos from Dungeon Meshi is autistic debacle. I don't want to call it a debacle, actually. I think it was just like an interview where it was like, Anime News Network was like, hey, you know, a lot of autistic people kind of relate to this one guy. Did you intentionally write him like that? And, well, the creator was like, I didn't know those traits were autistic. I just thought they were, you know, normal people traits. And, well, I mean, they're right. Autistic people aren't a monolith. Everyone has different traits and different ways of being autistic. In fact, queer people aren't a monolith either. So, ultimately, the creator's not in the wrong here. It's a similar situation to the Jenny Wakeman thing, where it just never really crossed their minds until it was brought up to them. Hell, people love Abed from Community. A lot of people latch on to him because he has a lot of autistic traits, and this was such a popular headcanon that the actual creator of Community itself actually found out he had autism for this. So ultimately, that stuff like that is a net positive. We're all just a community at the end of the day. Haha, pun intended. Haha, I'm so funny. The same thing just goes for both sides. You can't control how an art plays out, and artists can't control who sees their work. Unless it's like an NSFW thing, but like, come on now. So, just keep that in mind next time. Alright, I'm Chimera Zone, signing out, and I'm gonna go back to bootlicking. Bye-bye! By the way, the sentence video will come out eventually. I had to re-record it and then rewrite the script for it because I didn't like the original take. Yeah, whatever, videos.